It is a pleasure that you are with me again. I hope you and your pet are well. Today we will talk about the following. What do your dogs think? Find out. Let's start. Have you ever wondered, do dogs have thoughts? Yes, dogs absolutely have thoughts. The good part is trying to find out what they're thinking without being able to ask them directly. Dogs' thoughts, and their brains in general, aren't exactly like ours. At the most basic level, their size, a large dog's brain is as big as a lemon, a human's is about the size of two clenched fists. Even accounting for body mass, a dog's brain is proportionally smaller than a human's. Human babies begin to understand how to point even before they are 1 year old. Whether she's seen her mom point to something or point to her favorite toy, she's starting to develop basic communication skills. Turns out dogs too. When you point to something, the dogs know that you are trying to help them in some way, like finding a ball, for example. 1. How do dogs think? Thinking for dogs would probably not resemble thinking for humans. We have many structures that help us interpret the ideas and thoughts that we have, and dogs don't have access to all of these structures, or in some cases, they just use different structures. Dogs can learn many words in the human language. Some know up to 2,000 human words and can even use basic grammatical structures, but none of that reflects how dogs interact with each other, so it's probably not how they actually process their own thoughts. So what language do dogs think in? Do they hear barking the way we think of human words? Over time, this is a common idea among pet owners, but it's also unlikely. Dog-to-dog barking has more to do with pitch and intensity than the communication of specific words. 2. What do dogs think? Dogs spend much of the day dozing, but in their waking hours they probably spend time thinking about some of the same things a 2 or 3 year old would do, i.e. solve problems, what's for dinner, what's the toy, etc. But as for the proportion of time dogs spend thinking about what topics, no one knows. It's probably safe to assume that both dogs and young children are more self-aware than adults, focused on the present, rather than what has happened or could happen. In general, dogs probably think about all the basics of their lives, from food and play to other dogs and their owners. Like humans, how much time they spend pondering a specific approach depends on the dog and the dog's individual preferences and experiences. 3. What do dogs think when they are alone? Some dogs just curl up and go to sleep when their owners are away. Others may become stressed or even destructive, sometimes due to separation anxiety, other times simply out of boredom. As for what they have in mind, it's hard to pin down. Some dogs experience distress when left alone, but it's hard to tell if they're really thinking about the person they'd like to be with or just experiencing their own loneliness. More research would be needed to know what the focus of these behaviors is. 4. How to know what your dog is thinking. You'll never know exactly what goes on inside that furry head, but you might be able to get pretty close. It's as simple as careful observation combined with context clues and a few ideas of your own. To start with, I suggest you learn about the body language of dogs. Master those visual cues and you'll have a better idea of what your dog is thinking and feeling when he yawns without being tired, often a sign of fear or anxiety, or shows his teeth, often a sign of aggression, among other behaviors. Beyond body language, if you want to know what your dog is thinking about, pay close attention to what your dog is paying attention to. If your pup sniffs at a telephone pole and then urinates on it, he's probably absorbing other dogs' scent before leaving his own mark, and he may be thinking of those other dogs he can smell. Quietly observing your dog's movements and actions can often reveal what he has in mind. If you go to the kitchen and open the fridge, you are probably thinking about food or you are hungry. Now apply that to your dog and his bowl or the cabinet where you keep his food. Dogs may also think about things they can't see or are doing for themselves, like when they sniff you after you come home and, most likely, are trying to find out as much as they can about your day. If your dog comes over and nudges you for a pet, it stands to reason that he's thinking about you and his relationship with you. Or maybe he has an itch behind his ear that they're trying to scratch. It is a pleasure to inform you and help you. If you have not subscribed to the channel, you should do it now. Take care of yourself and your furry friend, and until the next video,